it's time to gently settle in. Find a position that feels completely comfortable, letting your body sink into the softness around you. Take a slow, quiet breath, feeling it fill you with calm, and then release it, letting go of any thoughts from your day. There's nothing more to do now. Just listen as the sounds around you begin to fade, and your mind drifts to a very particular, very peaceful place. Imagine a specialized indoor archery range tucked away in a quiet corner of a comfortable family home. It's not a grand, echoing hall, but a more intimate space designed for focus and precision. The air here is still and clean, carrying just a faint, familiar scent of polished wood and soft, yielding fletching. Subtle hum of ventilation. The walls are a soft, muted gray, absorbing sound rather than reflecting it. Along one side, a series of glowing, low-resolution display screens show target data from previous sessions, a gentle cascade of numbers and abstract patterns. They flicker softly, like an old-school console in a quiet lab, providing a calming, rhythmic glow that doesn't quite illuminate the entire room. In the center, a perfectly aligned target stands patiently, its concentric rings just visible in the soft, diffused light filtering from recessed panels above. The floor is covered in a resilient, dark material, cushioning every step. A small, neatly organized rack nearby holds a few bows, their strings carefully slackened, waiting patiently. This is a place where time slows down, where every movement is considered, and every moment is about quiet mastery, a peaceful sanctuary for focused downtime and gentle practice. Air here carries a very faint, almost imperceptible hum, perhaps from some distant, well-maintained retro tech, or simply the quiet energy of a space designed for calm focus. You might notice the soft, almost rhythmic thwip as a string is drawn back, followed by the gentle thud of an arrow finding its mark. It's not about speed, but precision. Each arrow seems to carve a silent, graceful arc through the air, disappearing into the muted colors of the target in the distance. The targets themselves are sturdy, well used, perhaps even showing the faint, pixelated outline of a familiar superhero logo. Or maybe just concentric circles, worn smooth by countless successful shots. Nearby, a sturdy wooden bench sits, perhaps with a half-read, well-loved graphic novel resting on its surface, or a simple, slightly outdated tablet displaying calm, nature-themed wallpapers. A small, carefully organized stand holds a collection of different arrows, their fletchings in various states of wear, each telling a silent story of practice and dedication. Sometimes, a quiet shadow might pass by, a small figure perhaps, a child moving with gentle curiosity, stopping to watch the precise movements for a moment before continuing their own peaceful play, perhaps sketching in a notebook or arranging colorful building blocks. The light here is soft, diffused, casting long, gentle shadows that seem to stretch and recede with the passing moments. It's a quiet testament to a life lived with purpose, even in stillness. Soft, distant bird calls the silence is occasionally broken only by the rustle of a leaf in a gentle breeze, or the quiet, contented sigh of someone deeply immersed in their craft, finding peace in the simple, repetitive beauty of it all. This is a space for quiet skill, for steady hands, and for a mind at rest. Now, as the practice draws to a close, a different kind of quiet beckons. The soft crunch of gravel underfoot guides the way back from the range, past rows of neatly tended, sun-warmed crops. The air carries the fresh scent of earth and distant wood smoke, mingling with the last hints of daylight. The farmhouse, with its welcoming glow, gradually comes into view, a beacon of warmth and calm against the deepening twilight. Stepping inside, the gentle click of the door closing behind you seals out the evening chill, ushering you into a space filled with soft, familiar sounds. Here, the hum isn't of bowstrings, but perhaps of a gentle fan, circulating the comforting scent of warm wood and something gently simmering on the stove. This isn't a bustling command center, but a central living area, rich with the quiet echoes of family life. In a cozy corner, a small, custom-built console sits, its screen displaying a gentle, scrolling star map, not for navigation through asteroid fields, but for wonder. It's a family project, perhaps, a retro-futuristic observatory in miniature, built for exploring constellations from the comfort of their home. A low, almost imperceptible hum emanates from its core, a soft whisper of processing power, charting stellar movements in elegant 8-bit patterns. You might notice a hand-drawn chart beside it, mapping out imaginary planets, or perhaps a small, pixelated alien character sticker adorning the monitor's bezel. This isn't about saving the world, but about exploring universes together, one quiet evening at a time. The air carries the faint, comforting scent of something baking, a subtle hint of the evening's gentle unfolding. The soft hum of a low-power server rack from a nearby study almost blends with the gentle murmur of shared stories, perhaps from a well-loved book, or a quiet recounting of a day's small wonders. A board game might be unfolding on a worn wooden table, its pieces moving with a soft, almost imperceptible click, each turn a small, unhurried decision in a world of friendly competition. Above them, a warm, flickering glow from a holographic display paints a slowly rotating star map onto the ceiling, its nebulae and constellations, a silent, shimmering guide to distant, imagined worlds. It's a universe held within these four walls, where imagination stretches further than any bowstring. Clint, in this tranquil scene, is not caught in the rush of heroics, but in the quiet art of preparation. He might be seated in a comfortable, worn armchair, his hands moving with a practice focused, almost meditative rhythm. He is meticulously cleaning a quiver, running a soft cloth over the seasoned leather, the material supple and responsive to his touch. The light from a nearby, strategically placed, low-wattage glow lamp casts gentle shadows, highlighting the intricate stitching and the subtle grain of the wood. He inspects a fletching, feeling the smooth curve of a feather, ensuring every detail is perfect. This isn't for battle, but for the pure, unadulterated joy of the craft, for the peaceful rhythm of practice, for the deep satisfaction of skill honed and maintained. The air remains warm, carrying the lingering scent of that gentle baking, now mingling faintly with the clean, earthy smell of the leather clint is tending. This quiet dedication, this focused calm, is a different kind of strength, a profound peace found in the familiar and the well-loved. The evening deepens around them, a quiet tapestry woven with the threads of comfort, connection, and subtle personal mastery. The world outside the farmhouse windows is a vast, silent canvas, but inside, a small, perfect universe continues to unfold, cradled in the gentle moments of shared time and individual quietude. Now, as the last rays of twilight soften the edges of the room, a quiet hum fills a small, organized corner of the farmhouse. It's a space where practical skills meet quiet contemplation, far removed from any hurry or demand. On a sturdy workbench, lit by a single warm-toned desk lamp, lie a few tools laid out with meticulous care, their metallic surfaces gleaming softly in the gentle light. Perhaps a well-worn leather bracer is being mended, its stitches patiently tightened, or the fletching on an arrow is being carefully realigned, each feather a tiny promise of flight, secured with practiced, unhurried movements. The air here is still, carrying only the faint, clean scent of oiled wood, and maybe a hint of beeswax from a fresh polish. A small, retro-styled monitor on a nearby shelf displays a static image, perhaps an old, pixelated star map, its constellations a maze of glowing dots against a deep indigo canvas. Or it might be a simple schematic of a familiar mechanical device, its intricate lines crisp and clear against a dark background, a puzzle to consider without pressure. It's not for active, urgent work, but more like a quiet window into another realm of thought, a gentle mental exercise, inviting soft speculation. Outside, the crickets have begun their soft, rhythmic symphony, a natural lullaby for the deepening evening. Inside, the quiet acts of maintenance and preparation feel like a meditation. Each precise movement, each thoughtful glance at the pixelated display is part of a gentle, reassuring rhythm. There's a deep satisfaction in these moments where the world beyond the farmhouse fades and only the calm focus remains, a quiet stewardship of skills and simple wonders. The soft, steady glow from the monitor casts a gentle, ever so slightly shifting light across the wall. A silent, comforting presence, inviting the mind to simply observe and rest. The soft light from the monitor continues its gentle dance, a quiet beacon in the tranquil space. As your awareness expands beyond its warm glow, the room begins to softly unfurl, not with a sudden reveal, but with a gradual, peaceful unfolding. You might notice the smooth grain of a polished wooden desk, worn just slightly by countless hours of thoughtful work. On its surface, beside a small, neatly coiled length of cord, rests a single, beautifully crafted arrow. Its fletching, a deep, muted blue, is perfectly aligned, the tip polished to a soft, metallic sheen. This is a place of quiet precision, where every object seems to hold a silent story of purpose and gentle care. The air here feels calm and settled, perhaps carrying the faint, almost imperceptible scent of seasoned wood and supple leather, mixed with the clean, neutral aroma of a well-kept home. A sturdy, comfortable armchair, upholstered in a warm, earthy tone, sits near a window, inviting quiet contemplation. Through the window, if you were to glance, you might imagine the soft, distant rustle of leaves, or the quiet chirping of crickets beginning their evening song. It's a space designed for focus, for preparation, and for the simple, unhurried rhythm of crafting, away from the wider world. Nearby, a small, worn toolkit lies open on a soft cloth, revealing a few specialized instruments, small and precise, used for fine-tuning an arrow's flight. One can almost feel the steady, deliberate movements of hands adjusting a nock, refining a fletch, ensuring every component is just right for its graceful journey. This quiet attention to detail extends beyond the immediate task, settling into the very atmosphere of the room, a gentle promise of calm dedication. A framed, slightly faded photograph on a nearby shelf might show a laughing family, a subtle reminder of the peace found in these quiet moments, away from the world's demands. The world outside seems to recede, leaving only this peaceful, focused intention. The focused intention gives way to the smooth release of an arrow. You hear the soft thwip as it cuts through the air, a whisper of flight before the gentle thud as it finds its mark. It's a rhythm, a quiet dance of physics and practiced form. The bow, a familiar weight in the hands, feels like an extension, carefully maintained, its string humming with potential. Perhaps a sturdy leather quiver rests nearby, holding a collection of carefully fletched arrows, each one a testament to patient craftsmanship. The afternoon sun, now a little lower in the sky, casts long, warm shadows across the practice range. It's not a grand, Olympic-sized arena, but a simple, open space, perhaps a large backyard or a secluded corner of a farm, thoughtfully set up for quiet practice. You might notice a small, weathered target stand, patched in places where previous arrows have struck true, nearby, a picnic blanket could be spread, perhaps with a half-eaten apple or a thermos of cool water, suggesting a recent break or the quiet presence of others. The air carries the scent of fresh grass, perhaps a hint of wildflowers from a nearby patch, adding to the serene atmosphere. A slight breeze rustles the leaves of distant trees, providing a gentle, natural soundtrack. This is where precision meets patience, where skill is honed not for a grand stage, but for the quiet satisfaction of a perfect shot. It's a moment of singular focus, yet it's enveloped by the comforting aura of home and family. A quiet sanctuary where time seems to slow, allowing for these simple, yet profound, acts of being. The gentle thud of the arrow finding its mark is often followed by a soft, encouraging word from a family member, perhaps a quiet cheer from a child watching nearby. These are the sounds of a life well lived, a melody woven from peace and presence. The practice isn't about perfection or competition here. It's about the rhythm, the flow, the feeling of the bowstring against fingertips, the steady breath, and the calm release. Sometimes, a smaller hand might reach out, wanting to touch the fletching of an arrow, curiosity shining in young eyes. Hawkeye, with a patient smile, might gently guide a tiny finger along the smooth shaft, explaining the purpose of each part in a hushed tone. It's a lesson not just in archery, but in patience, in focus, in the quiet joy of shared activity. The late afternoon sun begins to cast longer shadows across the simple, well-worn archery range. It's not a grand, futuristic training ground, but a clearing nestled gently behind their home, surrounded by the whisper of leaves. Perhaps there's a rustic wooden shed nearby, housing quivers, spare bows, and targets that have seen countless arrows. The air carries the scent of damp earth and distant wood smoke, grounding the moment in a comforting reality. Gentle chirping of crickets beginning as dusk approaches. The soft glow of interior lights from the house might become visible, a warm invitation promising hot cocoa and stories by a crackling fireplace. The last few arrows are loosed, each one a whisper against the fading light, before the bows are carefully stowed. The shift from focused practice to winding down for the evening is seamless, a natural transition in this serene domestic world. The quiet journey back towards the warm glow of the house is filled with comfortable silence, perhaps punctuated by the soft murmur of conversation or the rustle of evening breezes. You can almost feel the gentle coolness of the evening air settling, a crisp counterpoint to the warmth of the day's activity. The day's focus on the target now drifts to thoughts of shared meals and quiet rest. This sanctuary, built on the foundations of skill and quiet dedication, is truly a haven. The crisp air of the archery range gradually gives way to the softer warmth of home. As the sun dips lower, painting the horizon in hues of deep orange and soft purple. The familiar path leads toward a welcoming glow. Perhaps a light left on in the kitchen, or the soft flicker of a screen from an interior room. This journey from the precise focus of the target to the comforting embrace of family life is a gentle rhythm, a quiet winding down. Inside, the scent of a simple, comforting meal might linger, a subtle whisper of recent activity. The day's equipment, the bow and quiver, are carefully set aside, resting in their designated place, much like the day's obligations. Here, the hum of quiet conversation or the soft click of buttons on an old console could fill the air. A corner of the living space might reveal a worn armchair, perhaps a half-read book resting on a side table, or a vintage game system softly glowing, waiting for a shared moment later. This is where the quiet strength of the hero finds its most profound peace. Not in grand battles, but in the small, everyday moments. The sturdy wooden table, perhaps, still bearing the faint circular marks from a family board game, or a small, hand-drawn picture taped to a rustic bulletin board. These are the anchors, the soft ties that ground the skilled archer to a different kind of strength, a quiet resilience found in domestic warmth. The world outside, with its demands and its dangers, fades into the background, replaced by the gentle hum of home. It's a sanctuary not of solitude, but of shared, quiet presence. The soft glow of a nearby lamp casts long, gentle shadows across the wooden floorboards. Here, in the heart of the farmhouse, the rhythm of life slows to a contented hum. Perhaps a well-worn book or an old, detailed atlas rests open on Laura's lap, its pages whispering tales of other worlds or ancient geographies. A simple board game might lie unfinished on a low table, pieces waiting patiently for tomorrow's quiet competition. The air carries the faint, comforting scent of hearth and home, a subtle blend of old wood, warm tea, and the sweet promise of sleep. Clint, in a favorite armchair by the window, watches the scene unfold. His gaze is soft, absent of the sharp focus required on a battlefield or a target range. It's a gaze of quiet contentment, absorbing the precious, fleeting moments of ordinary magic. One of the children might be sketching in a notebook, their small hand carefully tracing lines that capture imagined adventures or familiar landscapes. Another might be building a tower of colorful, retro-styled blocks, each piece placed with a deliberate, sleepy concentration. This is the true downtime, the deep breath between missions. It's not just about resting the body, but soothing the soul. The gentle quiet is punctuated only by the soft turning of a page, the whisper of a crayon on paper, or the almost imperceptible creak of the old house settling into the night. Here, the targets are not villains or impossible shots, but simply the quiet joy of presence, the unspoken bond of family, and the profound peace found in these shared, unassuming moments. The world outside the window is a vast, starry expanse. But inside, this small circle of warmth holds all the universe. The world outside the window is a vast, starry expanse. But inside, this small circle of warmth holds all the universe. As the evening deepens, a gentle quiet settles over the farmhouse. The soft glow of a desk lamp casts long, dancing shadows across a sturdy wooden table in a quiet corner of the living space. Here, amidst the gentle hum of an old, reliable fan, gentle whirring fan sound, lies a collection of carefully tended items. Half-finished arrow rests on a small, worn leather pad, its fletching slowly taking shape under patient, skilled hands. Each feather, meticulously aligned, speaks of precision and focus, a quiet art. The polished wood of the arrow shaft gleams faintly, reflecting the soft light, hinting at the hours of care it has received. Nearby, a quiver, intricately tooled and softened with age, leans against the wall, its empty spaces awaiting their new occupants. This isn't the rush of a battlefield, nor the intensity of a target range, but a quieter, almost ritualistic engagement with his craft. The subtle scent of wood and leather, a faint hint of beeswax, mingles in the air, creating an atmosphere of calm dedication and quiet industry. It's a space where thoughts can drift, where the rhythmic, careful work becomes a form of meditation. The familiar weight of a small, smooth stone, perhaps a cherished gift from one of his children, sits close by, a quiet, grounding reminder of the very reason for this piece, for this careful tending of his tools and his time. This quiet corner is a testament to the patient artistry that underpins even the most remarkable skills, a silent hum of preparation and care. The night deepens, and the quiet work continues, a soft, steady rhythm in the heart of the sleeping home, a silent commitment to both family and craft. As the night deepens further, the soft, steady rhythm of preparation begins to slow. The carefully cleaned fletchings, the polished risers, the strung bows, all now rest. A gentle quiet settles over the room where the tools of a practiced hand were tended. Perhaps it's a small workshop nook, or a corner of a larger, lived-in space, a silent testament to focused dedication. The air itself seems to hold a memory of the day's gentle activities, a faint echo of laughter from earlier, or the soft thud of an arrow finding its mark on a distant target. You might imagine the subtle scent of wood and beeswax mingling with the comforting aroma of a home that knows love and quiet purpose. The light softens, perhaps a single lamp left on, casting long, peaceful shadows across a sturdy wooden table. On it, a few scattered schematics or notes, maybe a worn family photo tucked beneath a book, a small, tangible reminder of the why behind all the quiet dedication. This isn't just about honing skills. It's about building a safe, warm world for those who matter most. Outside, the crickets might be singing their nightly lullaby, a distant, gentle chorus. Inside, the only sounds are the house settling, the soft breath of sleep from nearby rooms. The quiet contemplation lingers, a gentle winding down, a moment where the lines between skilled craft and loving family blur into a single, peaceful tapestry. This is the heart of downtime, not empty space, but rich, quiet presence, weaving together the threads of a life well lived and a home deeply cherished. The watch continues, but it's a watch of peace, a guardian of slumber. As the world outside fades into dreams, the quiet rhythm of the homestead continues, a gentle breath held over the land. Inside, the soft glow of a small, carefully placed lamp illuminates a corner of a quiet room. Here, among shelves filled with worn books and a few framed photographs, sits a small, unassuming workbench. It's not a place for grand inventions or complex machinery, but rather for meticulous care and thoughtful creation. On its surface rests a half-strung bow, its polished wood gleaming faintly in the low light. Beside it, a small container holds a collection of fletchings, feathers of various hues, ready to be precisely attached to the shafts of arrows. Each feather is a tiny work of art, soft to the touch, waiting for its purpose. There's a particular quiet satisfaction in the space, a sense of patient dedication to the craft. A gentle hand might run over the smooth surface of an arrow shaft, feeling its balance, ensuring its true flight. The scent of wood polish and faint leather mingles in the air, a natural aroma of well-tended tools and materials. This is where precision meets peace, where the sharp focus required for a perfect shot translates into the calm, deliberate movements of maintenance and preparation. It's a testament to the quiet strength found not in battles, but in the steadfastness of home. The world outside may swirl with its demands, but here, in this quiet corner, time slows to the steady beat of a craftsman's heart. Every detail, from the carefully selected string to the perfectly aligned fletching, speaks of care. And in this care, there's a profound sense of grounding, a silent promise of readiness, not for conflict, but for the simple, fulfilling practice of his art. A gentle hum of the house is the only sound, a lullaby woven from the fabric of family and quiet purpose. Clint moves with an easy grace, the familiar weight of his bow a comforting presence in his hands. The indoor range, carefully set up in a large, well-ventilated space within the property, is designed for quiet focus. Not a vast, echoing hall, but a more intimate, purpose-built area, perhaps with sound-dampening panels that whisper of repurposed acoustic tiles from an old recording studio. The target, a simple, worn circle of layered foam, awaits patiently at the far end. No digital readouts here, no flashing lights, just the honest, physical feedback of an arrow finding its mark. he draws the string back, smoothly, deliberately. The soft asterisk thwip asterisk of the string, the gentle asterisk whoosh asterisk of the arrow through the air, and then a quiet, satisfying asterisk, thunk asterisk, as it embeds itself in the target. Each movement is a meditation, a silent conversation between skilled hands and practiced muscle memory. The air in the room is still, carrying only these soft sounds, punctuated by the almost imperceptible distant chirping of crickets, beginning their nightly serenade outside, a natural counterpoint to the quiet industry within. Sometimes he imagines the faint, almost imperceptible hum of the house's electrical systems, a constant, low-frequency lullaby beneath the surface of all other sounds, a quiet heartbeat in the walls. This is the rhythm of his downtime. Not adrenaline, but precision. Not chaos, but control. The arrows fly true, each one a miniature journey across the short distance, landing with that familiar, gentle impact. He retrieves the arrows, the soft give of the foam as he pulls them free, the subtle weight of them in his hand. Then he returns to his mark, ready to begin again. Always with that calm, unhurried breath, he lifts the bow once more, the familiar grain of the wood cool against his palm, the string a thin, silent whisper as he draws it back. His gaze settles, unwavering, on the distant target, a round splash of color against the deep green backdrop of the field. There's no rush, no urgency in this quiet space. It's simply the steady rhythm of breath, the focused intention, the smooth release. The arrow takes flight, a blur against the fading light, finding its home with a soft, satisfying thud. Subtle thud sound. A quiet smile touches his lips. It's not about perfection, not about competition, but about the quiet peace found in precision, in the controlled motion, in the simple act of doing. The sun begins to dip lower, painting the edges of the distant trees in hues of orange and soft purple. Long shadows stretch across the grass, inviting a sense of calm reflection. Perhaps, he thinks, his mind gently wandering, this is how many of the best lessons are learned, not in the grand, dramatic moments, but in the quiet, repeated acts of focus. He walks toward the target again, the gentle crunch of grass beneath his boots. The evening air is growing cooler, carrying the faint scent of damp earth and distant pine. He retrieves the arrows, feeling the familiar texture of the fletching, the smooth, cool shaft. The act is meditative, a slow dance between intention and outcome. He pauses for a moment, looking back across the range, the bow held loosely at his side. The quiet stillness feels like a cherished gift, a secret wellspring of focus and calm, recharging him for whatever tomorrow might bring. Looking back across the range, the bow held loosely at his side. The quiet stillness feels like a cherished gift, a secret wellspring of focus and calm, recharging him for whatever tomorrow might bring. He pockets the last few spent arrows, their familiar weight a comfort in his hand. The quiver now hangs lighter at his hip as he turns, the subtle crunch of gravel beneath his boots marking his slow departure from the practice area. A cool evening breeze whispers through the tall grass, carrying the faint scent of damp earth and distant pine. The path back is well worn, leading towards the soft, inviting glow of a nearby farmhouse. Gentle evening crickets as he approaches. The windows cast warm, amber rectangles onto the porch, illuminating a familiar scene. The gentle murmur of voices, soft and indistinct, drifts from within, a comforting presence. He steps inside, not into the main living area immediately, but into a small, cluttered workshop space just off the entryway. The air here holds a faint, pleasant aroma of wood, beeswax, and a hint of ozone from faint electronics. On a sturdy wooden workbench, bathed in the soft glow of a desk lamp, a half-finished arrow lies, waiting for its fletchings. Beside it, a soldering iron sits cooling, its tip still gleaming faintly from recent use, next to a small, intricate circuit board patterned with tiny, softly glowing LEDs. It's a project, perhaps for one of the kids, or a quiet tinkering of his own. A retro computer monitor in the corner displays a static, pixelated star map, charting constellations that only appear clearly on the darkest nights. He settles onto a worn wooden stool, the familiar creak, a soft note in the quiet room. Picking up a fine-grained block of wood, he begins to carve a new arrow knock with practiced, unhurried movements. The quiet rhythm of his work, the subtle scent of wood shavings, and the distant, familiar sounds of his family settling into their own evening routines, all weave together into a perfect, peaceful tapestry of downtime. The scent of wood shavings slowly fades, replaced by the comforting aroma of a warm drink, perhaps a gentle herbal tea. Clint, or Hawkeye as some might know him, finds himself in the quiet glow of a lamp, settled into a worn but deeply comfortable armchair. The low hum of the evening is punctuated only by the soft turning of pages from an old book held loosely in his hand, though his eyes aren't quite on the words. Instead, his gaze drifts. He watches the subtle play of shadows on the wall, cast by the gentle lamplight. There's a particular warmth to this room, a feeling of lived-in tranquility that only years of shared laughter and quiet moments can create. A quiver, beautifully crafted from rich leather, rests against the wall near a window, its polished arrows catching the faint reflection of the distant porch light. It's a reminder of his other passion, but here, in this moment, it's simply part of the comfortable landscape of home. Through the window, beyond the faint glow, the night sky is beginning to deepen, stars slowly emerging one by one. But his attention is drawn back indoors, to a framed photograph on a nearby shelf. It's a simple, candid shot. His family, smiling broadly after a successful day at the local fair. Cotton candy smeared on young faces, joy radiating from their eyes. He takes a slow, deep breath, the subtle scent of tea filling his senses. This is the quiet heart of his world, the grounding peace that makes everything else possible. The gentle rhythm of the house, the quiet breathing of loved ones in their rooms, the very stillness of the air, all contribute to a profound sense of ease. It's a moment of complete and utter contentment, a silent testament to the simple, profound beauty of family and a well-deserved rest. The quiet contentment lingers, a gentle hum in the air around the farmhouse. As the last hints of twilight soften the edges of the horizon, the warmth from within begins to gather, pushing back the evening chill. A soft glow emanates from a window, a beacon of peace in the deepening dusk, inviting the eye to linger on its gentle light. Inside, the day's gentle rhythms continue their slow winding down. A soft, rhythmic crackle from the hearth gentle fire crackle punctuates the stillness, a steady, comforting presence. The scent of pine and faint wood smoke drift subtly, mingling with the subtle aroma of warm spices, perhaps from a forgotten mug of chamomile tea on a nearby side table, its warmth fading. By the window, a worn, comfortable armchair sits, its fabric softened by years of quiet use and countless moments of contemplation. A handmade quilt, perhaps pieced together from fabric scraps collected over many seasons, drapes over its back, hinting at the simple, domestic artistry found throughout this home. The soft light from a nearby lamp casts long, gentle shadows across the room, making familiar objects seem even cozier, more inviting. One might observe a child, nestled comfortably on the floor, quietly sketching in a notebook, their brow furrowed in concentration as they bring a simple design to life, perhaps a small, stylized hawk, or the intricate pattern of an arrow fletching. The soft scratching of pencil on paper is barely audible, a testament to the profound quiet that has settled undisturbed. This is the essence of Hawkeye's downtime, not the grand battles or heroic feats, but these small, invaluable moments of profound peace. The grounding comfort of a home, the quiet warmth of family nearby, the simple joy of unhurried creativity. It's a sanctuary, carefully built and deeply cherished, where time seems to slow its pace, allowing for a deep, restorative rest, far from the world's clamor. Each breath here feels lighter, each moment more profound in its quiet simplicity. The quiet simplicity of the farm stretches out beyond the window, a vast, calming tapestry of green and gentle hues under the soft twilight. From a large, old-fashioned bay window, perhaps, overlooking sprawling fields that roll into the distant tree line, the world outside seems to breathe in a slow, rhythmic harmony with the gentle pulse of the household within. A faint, almost imperceptible hum emanates from a corner, perhaps a retro-styled console softly playing a classic 8-bit tune, so low it's barely a whisper, blending seamlessly into the ambient peace of the evening. In the warm, soft glow cast by a carefully placed, perhaps even vintage, desk lamp, a child might be quietly engrossed in building a miniature fort. Blankets and pillows are carefully arranged, forming a cozy, make-believe hideaway, their small world of imagination unfolding with soft rustles and whispered plans. Nearby, another child, perhaps, sketches diligently with colored pencils, capturing the memory of a majestic hawk circling high above the fields earlier in the day, its keen eyes surveying the land. These are the precious moments, unburdened by global threats or critical missions, that truly weave the enduring fabric of a hero's life, showing the quieter strength within. A comfortable, well-worn armchair sits invitingly by the window, a well-loved book resting face down on its cushion, a silent invitation to contemplation and slow reflection. The air carries the faint, comforting scent of something freshly baked from the kitchen, a quiet promise of warmth, nourishment, and togetherness. It's a scene deeply cherished, a sanctuary where ordinary life takes precedence, gently shaping and grounding everything else. This quiet tableau of family life, unfolding with such natural grace, becomes a gentle anchor reminding one of the enduring strength found in these most tender, unguarded moments, preparing the heart for a deep, restorative journey through the night. And as that quiet strength settled in, a gentle warmth spread through the evening air, wrapping around the farmhouse like a soft, invisible blanket. The last hues of twilight painted the western sky, fading from soft rose to a deep, serene indigo, dotted with the first shy stars. Inside, a low, comforting hum of conversation might still drift, perhaps a quiet laugh, a whispered story shared between parent and child, settling like dust motes in the gentle light of a lamp. Hawkeye, perhaps, watches this scene from a porch swing or a comfortable armchair by a window, a cup of something warm cooling in his hands. His gaze is soft, unburdened, reflecting the quiet joy of a day well spent, of a life rich in the simple, profound connections that truly matter. The bow and quiver now rest in their designated place, silent guardians of the day's precise practice. The targets in the field stand patiently, awaiting the dawn. A soft breeze rustles through the leaves of nearby trees, a natural lullaby. The distant chirping of crickets begins its nightly chorus, weaving into the silence, not breaking it, but deepening it. The house breathes, a living, contented presence, its walls holding the echoes of shared moments, of protection, of unwavering love. Here, in this gentle sanctuary, all ambition and exertion fade, replaced by a deep sense of peace. The world outside can wait, its complexities dissolving into the quiet hum of the night. Your own breathing might now mirror this calm, slow and even, a gentle rhythm accompanying the settling world. Allow yourself to be held by this quiet, by the profound comfort of a hero at rest, finding his strength in stillness. Let your thoughts drift like the last embers of a campfire, cooling softly. The day is done. Sleep now, gently, deeply. The quiet peace of the farm watches over you.